Carl went down to Itsy Farm today and he brought home a bunch of cauliflower. God, you put it in water, it's heavy.
Now, why are you draining it? Because,
It's heavy.
oh, okay.
And it also keeps it cold. This is the white cauliflower that he picked, which
That would be this right here.
Yeah, it's pretty close to going to seed. And this is the purple.
Isn't that pretty? Look at that pretty purple. Look at that.
And he's already cut it up for me. Thank heavens.
Now, we're going to try and save this because this is way too much for 2 people to eat. So we're going to try and preserve it. And how are we going to preserve it?
I'm going to be blanching it. And I'm going to be chilling it down and then putting it in the freezer. Which I'll have to do it in the vacuum seal bags.
Okay, good deal. So we have the boiling water.
Yes, we have boiling water, and I did add a little bit of salt to it. I don't put too many in at one time because they don't blanch as well. So I'll set my timer for 3 minutes, and it's off and running. Now, one trick that Carl and I have learned, any kind of juice jars that we get, that we empty out, we fill them with water and stick them in the freezer.
So they're cold.
So
they're like a big block of ice.
A big block of ice. So I put that in there and the water is getting cold.
Ah.
Instead of having to put ice cubes in there.
Now, one thing, before we blanched it, all the purple is nicely colorful and right there in the cauliflower. But once it gets blanched, the purple kind of goes away. Now, when we freeze this, are we going to freeze it directly in the bag? Don't you freeze it on a cookie sheet first?
No, not this.
Oh, okay.
No.
So we're going to blanch it and then seal it in vacuum bags and put it in the freezer.
Right. Drain lots of water off. Alright, so now we're going to dump this in the cold water. And get it under there. I know most people use ice, but I just thought I'd try this and see if it got it cool enough. It's pretty cool. It's not icy cold, but it's cool.
So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get all this cauliflower blanched and cooled down like this. And then we'll come back and show you what happens then. Well, I dropped my cell phone camera in the ice. It still seems to be working fine. It was only in there just a second.
We seem to be having really good luck with electronics this year. I hope it stops.
Yeah, Cheryl just had to go trade in her iPad. 2 years to the day, the battery quit working. So now we got ice cubes, or part of an ice bag, and 2 of these frozen thingies.
That's colder.
Oh yeah, oh boy, that is cold. And that cauliflower is really nice and soft. Wonder what happened if I ate one.
It won't get frozen.
Oh man, that is so good. Here's what she's talking about, having to pick the ice out.
Yeah, they don't drain as quickly, and I'm trying to do this in an efficient manner.
Water's boiling heavily. Want me to put the other in? Oh, you already have some in there.
This is the last of the purple. I'm not going to put them in the freezer separately. I just wanted to cook them separately so everybody could see that they turn green.
Oh, yeah. And there's the cauliflower that has been blanched and iced, and it's waiting to be put in vacuum bags and put in the freezer. Don't know if you can see it or not, but a couple of those cauliflower heads look like they're brown. Well, they're not brown. That's the purple ones that were a little bit older than some of the others, and the color just didn't go away completely. So they're not brown and stale. They're perfectly fine and tasty, and we're going to eat them. We're going to freeze them and then eat them.
So I just double seal it. And I'm right on here. Cauliflower. We'll start putting some in.
Oh, just put them in the bag?
Yeah.
We'll take a picture of put them in the bag. Okay, they're labeled cauliflower 1215.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big bag. How much you want me to fill it up? Ah. There we go. I'm going to put the purple in first, except it's not purple anymore. Now, we're cooking enough for one meal in each bag. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's good.
That's good?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right. So we have enough to feed 2 people. Now, you don't want to fill these vacuum bags up too much because they're hard to seal.
Yeah.
And I'm trying my best not to bruise the cauliflower. All right, I think this is the last one. I can ever get it open. There we go. Now, if you own a food saver or something similar and you've been listening carefully, you've probably noticed that the food saver is making a funny sound. It doesn't sound like it normally does. That's the first sign of trouble. And here's the second sign.
We're getting water. Not draining enough. Can't seal them with water coming out. So they need to sit for a while longer.
Okay, we learned pretty quickly that putting them in the Ziploc bag and the freezer bags, putting them in the vacuum sealer bags while they're wet and damp isn't going to work because the vacuum sealer sucks all the water out of them and it screws up the vacuum sealer. So what we did is we put all the cauliflower on cookie sheets, stuck it in the refrigerator, and froze it. And now when we put it in the vacuum sealer bags, we won't be sucking the frozen water out of it. Right?
No, you won't be taking out the water. But they're hard to fit in here comfortably. So you have to figure out which ones will go in the bag and which ones won't. You gotta leave room for the vacuum sealer to vacuum.
And here we are. We froze the cauliflower on ice trays. And then when we put it in the vacuum sealer, it didn't suck water out because the water was all frozen. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of cauliflower ready for us to take out and cook when we want it. Nice and fresh, cut today. You can't get any fresher than that.
And then I take it and I put it in the
Ziploc bags, freezer bags.
freeze, the
The food saver bag. Suck all the air out of it.
yeah, the vacuum sealer bag.
Vacuum bags. Okay. I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Why don't you just put Cauliflower and that way you don't have to worry about spelling it.
I think I can spell it. That's why.
Okay.
You got to figure out which end to open. Move this bowl out of the sink, please.
Right this second?
Yes, because I got this hot water. Purple water.
So there's where all the color went. So in order to freeze it, we have to
Blanch it.
Blanch it. What is blanching?
You just put it in the water for 3 minutes, and then take it out. Put it in cold water so it stops it from cooking.
Okay.
And then you leave it in there 3 minutes, and then you drain it.
I got no video. Oh, that's not gonna work with me standing in front of the camera, is it?
Not hardly.
I probably need to be on this side. If this is your first visit to the Cooking for Two channel, we'd love to have you subscribe. You'll learn how to prepare meals for just 2 people. Meals that are delicious, with portions just right for 2 folks. We'll show you how to save leftovers and make them into a new, exciting, and delicious meal. We'll show you some great snacks, and you'll learn lots of new and fun information about the foods you eat. We'll show you some of the newest food products, and we'll also review new kitchen gadgets you might want to consider. And of course, we'll check out and prepare your favorite recipes and show them to the world on the Cooking for Two channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the kitchen.